Lifts. So this is going to be a Primal Flow class. So we're going to be spending a little bit of time just warming up through joint rotations, muscular activations, and then cover a sequenced flow, which I will break down and then we will piece all together. So obviously feel free throughout this video to pause at any point if you need more time learning something or just to give your body a little bit of a break, and I will always be there when you need. And in terms of equipment, all you need is yourself. You don't really need a yoga mat, just the floor is good enough. Maybe yoga mat though for when we start warming up, but yeah, I will see you there. Before we get into our main movements today, we're going to spend a little bit of time warming up, looking at some muscular activations and joint work just to get ourselves nice and prepped. So find yourself in a comfortable kind of seated position. We're just going to focus in on the wrist for a moment. So interlace the fingers, join the hands together super tight, and just nice and slow going throughout some rotations for the wrists. Allow the clicks, allow the movement to come in. And changing direction. Cool, and then from here we're going to open it up and come into more of a like flowy kind of wave. So from stillness, separate the palms, let them drop towards the ground, and then wave it back up. Close down, open, and wave. Make this as big or as small as you would like. Then we're going to change direction, moving the other way. So one more time, and then coming up and just shaking out the hands, giving the fingers a little bit of a flick. So let's come onto our hands and knees and move the wrists a little bit more with some of our body weight. So in a tabletop position, you're going to spread your fingers as wide as possible and start to grip down as if we're kind of like pulling the ground up with us. Just start by involving some little circles first of all. So we're alternating the pressure between the heel of the hand, the knuckles and the fingertips. Again, change direction. Breathing nice and regularly. And then all the way back into the middle. So thumbs are now going to turn forwards, fingers out to either side, and gently rock your weight side to side. Again, try and involve the fingertips as much as you can, involving the whole hand. Beautiful, last one. And then this time, just reset the hands first. You're going to start to take more of your weight back into your heels and then flip the hands over. Now be super careful with this because it's not for everyone. Sink more of your weight back into the heels and then see how comfortable you are putting more weight into the hands. Give the fingers a little bit of a wriggle, see what it feels like. It's a little bit weird. And then flip back onto the heels. I'm going to interlace the hands behind our back. So roll the shoulders back so they're set into a neutral position, squeezing through the shoulder blades, making a nice tight fist. And you're just going to lift those hands away from you. So as you do this, you want to avoid almost extending too much, but also flexing too much. So you're in a nice neutral position. So keeping the upper arm bone where it is, all you're going to do is bring your fist towards your low back and then extend away. So you're bending from the elbow. So just tap and then extend. So getting a nice little bit of a stretch sensation towards our pecs and the front of our deltoids, but also working into the triceps. Let's go one more time. And then release and relax, shake out the hands a little bit. So if at any point it does get too intense onto the wrist, a nice little sort of like rehabilitation movement you can do just to bring some blood flow and circulation back to the wrist is this. So you just bring yourself into a squat and then you take your forearms behind your knees and you sink your weight down onto the hands. Now you can sort of rock side to side or maybe even bounce, but the idea is to get some blood flow back into the wrists, into the joints. So yeah, feel free at any point during this video to just pause, do this whenever you want, and just give your wrists a little bit of a break as well. Cool. So back onto our bum, into our kneeling position. Let's just move the neck a little bit just to get it nice and loose and warmed up. So neutral position, drop the chin down to the chest. And then looking up. Again, drop it down. And bring it all the way up. Couple more times, and then opening. Back through to center, now looking left and right. Try find stillness in the rest of the body. One more time each way. And back through center, take right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. So as you do this, try not to let the opposite shoulder creep up. Keep it nice and still. Good. One more time each way because it feels really good. Nice, and then back through center. So bring yourself back into a tabletop, and just to have a little bit of time to wriggle around, so moving through the spine, maybe create some little side bends, create some circles, create some spinal articulations, whatever feels good. You can sink more weight into the heels and the toes and alternate that between the wrists. Just getting a little bit looser, a little bit freer in our body. Cool. And then from here, finding stillness, we're going to come into gate pose. So you're going to extend your right leg out towards the side. So the arch of your foot is in line with your knee. Shuffle the hands so the shoulders are a little bit more in line with the hips. Just going to start by rocking backwards and forwards. So sinking as much of the weight back into your bum as you like. And feel free as well, if you wanted to increase the sensation, peel the toes open as you rock back as well. Good. Let's go one more time. Lovely. And then slowly coming all the way back up. From here we're going to lift and push, bringing ourselves upright to gate. And you're going to shuffle your right leg in. So now the foot and the knee is angled at almost like a 45-degree angle. Both hips are facing forward, so you can brace with your hands by your side. You're just going to slowly bend into the right leg and bring it back up. So bend as much as you're comfortable with, keeping the shoulders above the hips, engaging the glutes, muscles on the inner outer thigh. Press your big toe into the floor of the right leg. We'll go one more time. Beautiful. And then reset. Bring the knee back down. Now kick out the left leg towards the side. Again, find that nice position where you're stable through the shoulders and rocking backwards and forwards. Couple of times. Maybe open up the toes if you need. Breathing. Let's go one more time. Nice, and then all the way up, push through, lift up. Bring that left foot in, so again it's angled at about 45 degrees. Hands to the hips or bracing, and slowly bend. Driving back up. Try to keep that foot flat to the floor as much as you can, so we look at our ankle mobility. Let's go 2 more times. Shoulders stay above hips. Last one. And all the way up. Lovely. So from here, we're going to play a little game of sort of twister, just to get used to crawling around and moving. So make sure, or just get aware of the space around you. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to start in a kind of squat position, and then I'm going to say right hand down. You've got to place your right hand. Then I say move left leg, you've got to move your left leg. So in essence, you can be in any position from here to back here. And we're just sort of exploring all realms where all limbs are on the floor and we're essentially crawling around. So, have your feet planted down. Let's find ourselves in a squat, doesn't matter if your heels are lifted up. Right, so first thing we're going to do, right leg move. Left hand, left leg, right hand, right leg, left leg, right hand, left hand, right hand, left leg, left hand, right leg, left leg, right hand, left hand, left leg, left hand, left hand, right leg, left hand, right hand, right leg, left leg. Okay, so now I want you to move through this at your own pace, one limb at a time, moving nice and slow. Do as many different directions and planes of movement as you can think of, as you can get creative with. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to do it. We're just exploring. breathe. And if you feel like you want another little bit of a challenge, close down your eyes as you go throughout this movement, just so you gain and develop your proprioceptive awareness a little bit more. Let's go for 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then come back. Beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed that little exercise just to get used to crawling around on all fours, because in essence that kind of is what animal flow is, but with a little bit more guidance. So before we start breaking down the different components of our animal flow, I'm going to show you guys what the finished product is going to look like. Product sounds so clinical. The finished flow, what that looks like, so you can kind of like piece things together as we go throughout it. So this is about, say, 90 seconds of movement, and it can be quite taxing, but it's also super fun. So we're going to start in crab position. First move here of the sweep, into an under switch, into the other side for the leg sweep. Then into the under switch, and we come into beast. From beast, we're going to do a front step through, and then travel to the other side, and back to beast. Other leg step through, travel to the other side, back to beast. From here, step forwards, then reset into ape. We're going to come to open, and then close, open, and then close. Set ape, and then sort of a dive and a pike, back down, dive and a pike, back down. One more time, we'll do it each way. And then as we set ape, we slowly come back to crab, and we're back to our starting position. So that is our movement. Now let's break it all down and start to piece things together. So our first movement is going to be crab. So to begin in crab, we start by imagining ourselves as a capital M. So feet are out in front of us, about hip distance apart. We take our hands behind us and the fingertips are facing away, just because that way we're allowed, or we're able to control our shoulders more. So we're into external rotation. So we're using the muscles in the upper back a little bit more. So first of all, let's set our crab. Push through the big toe, the heels, push through all the fingertips, squeeze shoulder blades together, and lift your bum about an inch off the ground. That's all we need to do. We don't need to have it super high. We're creating this upside down M. No, it's an M. And our eye line, we're kind of looking directly forwards, so towards the rising sun, as they say. And keep squeezing through the muscles in the upper back. Try to avoid over time how they collapse inwards. So just getting comfortable with this position, making sure you're breathing nice and easy, and then take a moment, chill out for a sec. So we don't come into too many holds in animal flow, but it's obviously worth just practicing them so we maintain good form. Cool. So the next position is the leg sweep. I really like this because it just feels super dramatic and really dancey. So from our crab position, we're going to move the right leg first. So press, engage, lift. So for this, as we push into the feet, we're going to extend the right leg away from us. Point the toe, try to keep it hovering again an inch off the ground. Then we're going to sweep it out towards the right hand side. As we do, lift up the hips as high as possible, get the foot to the peak, and then reset. Straight leg and drop the hips. So I'm just going to practice that first. So swap to the left side, left leg extends. We sweep it out, so left, lift the hips, and then lower the hips, lower the foot, and reset. So it will depend on our hip mobility and our hamstring mobility, our posterior chain, all of that, as to how wide and how close we can sweep the leg. Doesn't matter. It's just more the action of it. Doesn't matter about the depth. As long as we do this, we keep pressing and engaging through the hands. Cool. Let's go one more time each side. Control. Breath. Lovely. And then chill out. Shake out the wrists if you need. Give them some love. Sweet. So the leg sweep, in between doing the sides, we're going to involve an under switch. Under switches can take a little bit of time to get used to because it's balance and coordination, and a lot goes on. So again, please feel free to just pause at any point and just take it in your own pace. So let's imagine we've just done a right leg sweep. We're going to come back with a leg in front of us. Now I know when I do an under switch that my right leg is going to be my main mover. So it means that my opposite hand, the left hand, is going to move as well. And in essence, I'm traveling from underneath and ending up the other way. So my chest will now be facing the ground. So if I'm here, my right leg draws in, my left hand lifts, and I rotate, so I'm now onto my front. So that's what the under switch looks like. Let me show you a different angle. So right leg is out, it then draws in. The knee kind of goes out towards the side, and the foot is drawing inwards to the other ankle. I then lift the left hand, and I travel forwards onto my front. You can reverse it just to get used to it. So left hand will lift, right leg will come out. We're back to our crab position. If you're still unfamiliar with the sort of under switch movement, I did do a foundational Primal Flow video that's on my channel, so feel free to watch that if you still want a little bit more clarity. Cool. So what that would look like on the left side, again, I'm pressing, I'm engaging, left leg has extended. Imagine we've done the sweep. I would draw the left foot in, and then right hand lifts, and I press and I rotate. Then again, I can lift out of it, right hand, left leg, switch back. So the idea is that we're always traveling from underneath. You would know if it's wrong if you're trying to rotate the other way. It would just feel really, really awkward. So again, one more time, left leg, draw the left leg in, press through the left hand as the right hand lifts, and you come down. Because you can't forget about the other limbs whilst the other ones are lifted. Otherwise, it's just kind of like a recipe for disaster because you haven't got control over the body. So let's see what that looks like when we put them all together. We come from right leg sweep to under switch to back and then left leg. So crab position, it's all set. Into right leg sweep. Into right leg under switch, draw right foot in, left hand. Now reverse, come back, and then left leg sweep. And then left leg under switch, draw that foot in, right hand lifts to beast, and then come back out. So left leg, right hand. Hopefully that makes sense, but like I said, pause, redo this as many times as you need, just get it set into your mind. It's also super worth recording yourself so you can see what you're doing. So after we've done our crab position, leg sweep into under switch on both sides, we will end up in our beast position, which is this. So both hands are directly under shoulders, toes are tucked, knees are elevated an inch off the ground. So it's worth just getting used to that movement first of all. It's not like tabletop where the knees are directly underneath the hips. They're actually kind of more underneath the belly button. So they're fairly close towards our wrists. We're tucking the toes and we're lifting. Reason being why we want the knees a little bit closer is so that our sort of surface area is less and it's easier to control our body and the weight distribution across. So we're less likely to almost like have imbalances in our shoulders and our hip structures. So just getting used to that position first, lifting the knees an inch off the floor, bracing through the core. Cool, so that is beast. And then to come into the next movement, we set loaded beast. So from beast, we push our bum back to our heels. We walk the hands a little bit further away, really push them through the floor, then drop the chin to the chest. Again, knees are hovering about an inch. We're driving through the hands, shoulders are up to the ears. So a very, very active position, kind of like child's pose, but more active because the knees are lifted off the ground. So from there, we're going to do these explosive like front step throughs. And they're really nice and explosive. You can make it as dramatic as you want it to be. It's kind of like stepping forwards into a lizard position in yoga. So from our beast, we're going to set loaded beast. So travel back, step the hands in front. Now the cueing is going to be right leg, front step. So the cue will be right leg front step, which means the right leg is going to drive and plant on the outside of the hands. So pressing, right leg front step, you step. And then what you're going to do simultaneously is lift up the right hand almost like a bear claw. So you can either have it here or you can drive it back here. It's totally up to you. So what that would look like again, from our loaded beast, right leg front step and catch. And again, as you step through, you want your butt on and engaged as you draw back. Cool. And then left leg, what that would look like, left leg front step and catch. And then again, you just pop it back to loaded beast. But what we're going to do, and as you saw in the beginning flow, is we're going to create a little bit of a rotation, a little bit of some side lunge action. So we travel to the other side just to complicate things more. So, set beast, set, loaded beast. Then we're going to do right leg front step through. So step and catch. Now we're going to travel over through a side lunge to the other side. So you're going to start to pivot over to the left, travel, and then plant right hand, left hand draws back. Then pop it back to loaded beast, hands land, down. Left leg now comes into the front step, catch, and then again travel to the right, pivot, right hand catches, and then we pop it back into loaded beast. So a couple things to be mindful of. Obviously rights and lefts are now moving. It can be quite confusing. Take a little bit of time to get used to, that's totally fine. Now another thing as well is when you do this side movement, so the side lunge kind of action, you can do it in various different ways. So you can either stay super low and then go across, or you can start to bring it up higher and go down. So you go up and down, or you stay low and you travel. It's totally up to you how you want to move, what feels more comfortable. Of course, change it up and see. So let's bring it all together with the beast movements into the step through. And we'll do it right leg first, and then do it on the left side. Cool, so set beast, set loaded beast. So chin to the chest. Right leg front step, catch. Now travel to the left, pop it back to loaded beast. Left leg step, travel to the right, and then pop it back. Let's go one more time. So step forwards with the left, travel to the right, pop it back. Again, step forwards with the right, travel to the front, and then pop it back. And then set beast, so look forwards, step the feet in, knees behind the forearms, and then chill out and come down. So it's quite a lot for your quads. It's quite a lot of active movement for them. So if they need a little bit of shake and a little bit of love, give it to them. So let's just put those first two flows together to see how we start to move between all of them. So we're going to start back in our crab position. So feet out in front, fingertips face behind, squeeze shoulder blades and lift the bum. So first of all, right leg crab sweep, extend right leg, lift it up, slowly draw back into the under switch. So right leg draws in, left hand lifts, briefly to beast, and then return. So right leg, left hand, back to crab. Left leg sweep, into left leg under switch. Now we're going to stay here into beast, then set loaded beast. So push the weight back, extend the hands out in front of you. Right leg front step through, explode the right leg forwards, catch in beast, travel to the other side, pop it back. Left leg front step through, travel to the other side, and then again, pop it back to beast, or loaded beast. So that's where we ended up. Now we're going to have a look at our final little component and mix and add everything together. So we're now going to see what it's like to explore ape. We're from the beast position here. We're going to travel into ape. So what you do, you push the weight back so you land onto your heels. So quite an easy sort of transition from beast. You push away and you flick back. So we're now into a squat. Obviously the squat looks different for everyone. Some of us, we might need to go a little bit wider than hip distance. Some of us, we might have our heels off the ground. That's totally fine because we don't hold here for too long. But the position of ape is just simply relaxing as upright as possible, hands are down. Now, ape reach, we first of all take the tops of the hands together. We dive forward, so chin drops to the chest. We try reach as far in front of us as we can, sinking our weight down into our heels. Then as we lift the head and the shoulders, we spin the palms open, so thumbs face behind us, rock onto the toes, As the arms go wide, so do the knees, and we're active through the low body and the upper body. And then close down, and then rock up, open, and close down, and open. So quite a nice one to just play around with. And then when I say set ape, we just come back to that starting position. Cool. So the next movement is these little bits of like pike lifts from ape. So we think about having this really nice elevation into our hips, but it's also training us to sort of like stabilize through the body through just 3 limbs instead of 4. So after we've done our ape reach, we're going to do these lifts. So right hand is going to travel over to the opposite side, so to the left. So right hand will travel to the left. As it plants down, I lift onto the balls of my feet. I lift my hips as high as possible, chin to the chest, and I extend the left hand up and away from me. Then I slowly travel back down. Then left hand goes to the right, lift the hips, right hand goes up. Then again, slowly travel down. So what that looks like, front on angle. Right hand moves to the left, elevate the hips, extend left hand, drop down, left hand to the right, and then slowly down. So quite nice movements in ape, just to get the coordination, move the spine through different ranges, get the legs straight as well, and elevate the hips too. Cool, and then after that, to come back into crab, to kind of like reset and draw back so we can do the other side, we reset our ape, and then to come to crab, you have to trust and slowly lean back, take one hand behind, and then the other, and we're back to crab. So it's worth also practicing this with both hands, so you can push and come forwards, and then take left hand behind, right hand behind. Right hand first, left hand first, and just swap sides, right hand, right hand, because it's always worth just training and coordinating both sides so that you don't get caught out when you do come into a flow. You've trained and balanced out both parts, both sides of the body. So that's all of the components of the flow, sort of broken down individually. Now we're gonna like marry the movements together. So what we do for round 1, we try work everything on the right first, and then we swap and work everything on the left, just so the transitions are practiced in all possible ways on both sort of sides. So it ends up being quite a long flow, but the idea is that you can continually practice this flow in particular for as long as you want, because the end point and the start point are exactly the same. So with Mia in shot, let's come to do it on the first side. I will instruct throughout this, of course, but just for the sake of running through it completely, I won't stop, and then I might break it down and do it another time. So let's start into our crab position. Press through, lift the bum an inch off the ground. Right leg crab sweep. Into right leg under switch, left hand lifts. Return to crab, and then left leg sweep. Into left leg under switch. Set loaded beast. Right leg step. Transition to the other side. Pop it back to loaded beast. Left leg step. Switch to the right. Return to loaded beast. Set beast. Set ape. Ape reach. To open. Reach. To open. Set ape. Right arm pike lift. Left arm pike lift. One more time, right arm to left arm. Set ape, set crab. Left leg sweep to left leg under switch. Return to crab. Right leg sweep. Right leg under switch. Set loaded beast. Left leg front step. Transition to the right. Pop it back. Right leg step. Transition to the left. Pop it back. Set beast. Set ape. 8, reach, to open, reach, to open, set 8, left arm pike lift, down, right arm pike lift, down, last 2, left one, right one, set 8, set, crab. And there we go, that's on both sides. Quite a long sequence when you go through the whole thing. Obviously that was me moving continuously, but feel free when you do practice it to just stop, pause, think about the next move logically. Don't just rush for the sake of it. Don't just be quick for the sake of it. See what it feels like. So feel free to pause it now, just practice through anything that you want to do. And then the next few moments of the video after this pause, we will go through it together and I will give it a little bit more instruction where you can run through it with me at a little bit of a slower, more controlled pace and a little bit more instruction. Hopefully you felt comfortable with that little practice run through. Now let's go through it together and get through both sides. So let us set our crab. Lift the bum. Right leg, crab, sweep. Elevate, lift, control. Draw right leg in, right arm or right leg under switch. Return to crab. Good, left leg, sweep. Breathe into left leg under switch where we're in beast. Now set beast, so rock your weight back into your heels, chin to the chest. Right leg, front step through, catch with the right arm. Slowly transition over to the left, catch with the left, then pop it back, loaded beast. Left leg, front step, catch with the left arm, travel to the other side, left arm down, pop it back, 2, loaded beast. Step forwards to beast, transition to 8, flick. Nice, so 8 reach, we dive, top of the hands, into open, balls of the feet, knees and arms wide. Slowly come down, slowly begin to open. Lovely. Set 8, right arm pike lift, lift the hips high, left hand extends, drop back down. Left arm extends to the right, lift up, slowly down. One more time each way. Left arm down, try to look behind, slowly reset to 8. Now into crab, take right hand behind, then left hand into left leg, sweep, point, lift, draw back, draw left leg in, under switch with the right hand, transition back, right hand, left leg, right leg, crab, sweep, into under switch, draw the right leg in, left hand plants, sink back into our loaded beast. Left leg step, transition to other side, pop it back to loaded beast. Right leg step, transition other side, pop it back, loaded beast. Look forward, step into beast, flick onto the heels, into 8. Let's change it up. Let's go left arm, dive and pike reach, back down. Right arm, pike reach, and down. One more time each way, left arm, slowly down, right arm, slowly down. Set 8, 8 reach, to open, reach, to open, set 8, set crab, left arm behind, then right arm, and then collapse on your floor. Give everything a little bit of a shake. So there we have it. As you probably saw, we traveled around the space quite a lot. We ended up in different directions, and also I changed up the last little bit with ape just to show that you can. You can obviously explore different ways of moving. So yeah, let's just cool down because I am thoroughly out of breath. My quads need some release. So let's come down to lie on our back. Hug your knees to your chest and just start rocking side to side. Letting the breath slowly come back to normal. And then plant both feet down to the floor about hip distance apart and slowly let them go down towards the right side, back through center, then down to the left. Just nice and slow through windscreen wipers. Breathing softly. Good, let's go one more time each way. And then back through center. You're going to cross your left ankle over your right thigh, so just above the knee. And then lifting the foot off the floor, drawing the legs in as close as you want. Feel free to hold the right thigh if you would like. You can gently rock side to side. Bring the legs in closer if you want to sort of intensify it to the glutes. And then whilst you're holding here, nice option for the hamstrings is to extend the right leg, point, flex, point, and then drop back down. So again, just extend, point, flex, point, drop back down. Should do that 2 more times. Last one. And then release. Swap those legs over, so right ankle crosses, lift the legs in, see how this side feels. And when you're ready, extend left leg, point, flex, point, drop it back down. You obviously don't have to do this, just whatever feels good. Go for it. Let's go 2 more times. Last one. And then slowly come back down. Bring both knees into your chest, and then we're going to take them down towards the right hand side into a spinal twist. So knees are stacked, hips are stacked. We extend the left arm away from us. If you want, you can keep the right hand onto the knees. And a really nice thing for the shoulders, if you make a fist and start with the left fist down by your hips, lift it out towards the sides, so shoulder height, and then up and over your head, circling it over, rolling to your side, just sort of creating like a big circular movement with your arm. Just so you get a little bit more movement into your shoulder, into your thoracic spine. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's just, again, whatever feels good. And back to center. Swap sides over. Knees down to the left. Right arm extends. And again, if you would like, lift and roll over. See whatever feels good. Good. And then slowly bring your knees all the way back to center. You can rock up and down 2 or 3 times, bring yourself up to seated. And there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed this Primal Flow class. If you had any questions, suggestions, comments, obviously just let me know. But yeah, if you'd still like to learn more about Primal Flow, like I said, I have the foundation class on my main channel, so do check it out. Otherwise, I will see you next time.